back to Culture Shock. I'm sure the name is very fitting considering you're looking at this and it's a shock because if you've seen our previous podcast, you've seen me and Tia both done up with our makeup and looking very professional. But this is kind of an unconventional episode. Our intent was to continue with professional guidance for our young leaders. But something unexpected happened yesterday, so that's why I'm on here looking like this first thing in the morning. So we did actually record episode 3 of our podcast, and we had some amazing guests appear. And I was in charge of doing all the technical preparation. So we get our guests on, and we have a wonderful discussion with them. And after everything was all said and done, and I sit down and I start editing everything, I discovered that it never recorded our voices. So we have an hour-long video with people talking that you can't hear what they're saying. So we decided that rather than try to scramble around and try to put something hodgepodge together, that we're just going to go ahead and give you something totally unscripted, unprepared, and extremely unprofessional. As luck would have it, though, it did pick up some of the voice, I would say, for the last 20 minutes of the video. Unfortunately, the voice that it picked up starts off with a story that we never intended for it to start off with. So if you're ready for some very comical, unprofessional advice, welcome to Behind the Scenes, semi episode number 3. I hope that, this doesn't turn you off. This is real talk, real view. So, hope you have a good day. We'll see you next time.
These are killing me. They're on fire.
Stay off of them.
Okay. Sucking in.
What do you have to suck in?
Got my little pooch pooch. See, you're judging me.
Yeah,
you're judging me.
Judge
See,
other
she just
women.
judged me.
I feel like this should be like one of those bloopers.
She just judged me.
I'm judging you because you just said you were judging other women.
Yeah. Okay.
She said, yeah, thank you.
So unfortunately, we've lost Sharice, but we do want to thank her very much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you,
great,
Sharice.
Insightful information. So we're coming down to the wire here. We got some other commitments going on. So Carrie, have you had a situation when you were like, I cannot make this stuff up about how this woman reacted?
Can I say it on camera?
I don't care. No names though, please, no names.
Yeah, no names. No.
And no employer names either.
Nope.
All right. Well, I was working. We were in the bathroom, and this lady comes in. She had diarrhea. It's fine. She couldn't make the stall, and she shit everywhere. And I was like, what? Again, I gotta be nice. So I washed my hands, and she got done, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I said, you gonna clean it up? She's like, no, that's not my job. But you made the mess. That's not the cleaning lady's job.
No. So did she clean it up though?
So her and I got into a heated argument in the bathroom. Let's just say some things happened that we can't talk about on Facebook or the camera here. But yeah, she cleaned it up. She cleaned it up.
Wait. I just want to know, did you guys fight?
All right, I grabbed her by the throat and I pushed her up against the wall. And I was like,
did not.
Yes, I did.
You could have just said yes or no.
Yes, I did. Because you know what? That's being rude and disrespectful to the cleaning person, okay? I understand that accidents happen in the bathroom and that, but man, when you had it all over the place, go get the mop, clean it up.
Yeah. Ladies, this is exactly what we're trying to prevent right here.
Well, no, I understand it was an accident that it happened. But at the same time, I would have been like, let me go get a mop, let me clean it up because I made the mess. That was the whole message. I was saying, are you going to clean that up? No, that's not my job. Well, I'm sorry, but they don't get paid enough to clean up your I can see if a little bit was on the toilet seat, that's fine. But we were talking toilet seat, walls, floor. I mean, that was the whole point. I was just trying to get across was it was an accident, but at the same time, it was a big accident. They don't get paid enough to clean all that up at once.
Yeah. So, ladies, if you have diarrhea and you make a mess,
hey, you asked.
Just ultimately clean up after yourself.
Good Lord. What about you, Tia? Do you have any?
Oh, I got a lot that I could talk about.
No names.
No names. I won't give no names. No, where it came from. but I would say I'm 26. So me being 26, I do get a lot of hate and animosity and a lot of, people talking down about me. But I will say I was 24. I was working, in a different industry. And I ended up becoming a lead. I became a crew, not a crew, but I would guess you could say I was a lead, right? Because I had a lot of knowledge. I put in a lot of overtime. I was learning a lot of new things because that's what I like to do. I like to learn things and gain as much knowledge as I can. Well, this older lady, it wasn't even a guy too. These older people were very intimidated by me and they didn't like the fact that, I was a young lead. So they talked a lot of crap about me. And so I had went to my boss and I was telling him like, this is going on, this is what's being said, and nothing ever got done about it. So me being me, because I like to confront situations, and if you're gonna talk about me, I know I'm young and I don't care how old you are, let's just talk about it. So I confronted her and I was like, well, why are you talking about me? Like, do you not know like the amount of hours and times and situations? Like I was working 50 hours a week and you're only working like 30 to 40 hours a week. Why are you talking about me? And so, I mean, we hashed it out, we talked about it, but just being young and trying to move up in the workforce, it is very, very hard.
Yeah.
And you do get talked down a lot and
Yeah.
you do get criticized a lot because being young and trying to move up.
What do you think the misconception is between the younger generation and the older generation? What has been your experience about your misconception about the younger people, your misconception about the older people?
Young ones first. Go ahead, because you may not like my answers. Go ahead.
Elders first. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. I think the misconception is, I think it's the way that they present themselves. Like you can tell when a person is there to work. You can tell when a person is there to learn.
I agree.
And I think, if you got somebody who's young and peppy and wants to learn, ask questions, maybe on your nerves, but if they ask questions and want to learn, versus somebody who's just there to do a job, like they walk slow, they don't ask questions, they're not eager to learn. Excuse me. You can basically tell that by a person when you first meet them.
Yeah.
So then your next question is, what do you do with them? If you got the job, now I didn't hire them, that'd be human resources. They can put out a big show for human resources, and then as soon as they get on the floor, completely different story.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the biggest misconception is that the younger people take on the older people is their demeanor and their tone. Like you don't have. I'm one of the people that take everything personal.
Did you see that? Yeah. A little audience over there. Yeah.
Shoot. I will say that I'm definitely one of the younger people who take everything personally, and I'm realizing that that's one of my downfalls because I cannot take everything personally.
Oh yeah, you cannot. You cannot.
No, but I can't help it. Like I feel everything deeply. So it's like if you're over here talking to me, like if this is how you talk to everybody else, and you're just assertive, and you're just this, and you're just that. Well, I'm trying not to take it personal, but I am taking it personal. Like I guess it has nothing to do with like the older generation.
Why are you pointing at us for
it? Because you guys are old.
I'm gonna be 25 in a couple days.
I'm 29.
All right.
Okay, so, I'm the really only 26-year-old here. So.
I think that both of you made very good points, and I think the whole root of it is that we need to stop making assumptions.
Yes, 100%. Like, stop coming to conclusions so soon. Like, just because, okay, I'm going to use you as an example. Like, just because you might talk to me, like, very assertiveness and, like, that's just how you talk to people, I got to stop taking it so personal.
Yeah.
But the older generation has to stop judging, I guess, in a sense, the younger ones, because what if they're moving slow because they're nervous? What if they're moving slow because they don't know what they're doing and nobody told them what to do or direct them?
Well, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I agree with that. However, if you've been trained and then 2 weeks later you're still moving like that and you're showing no motivation.
Well, yeah, okay, then at that point I understand
but
you got to communicate.
The question then is, okay, you're looking at them, they're moving slow. I've seen way too many managers that get a new hire in. They say they trained them, but your idea of training and my idea of training are two different things. So did the manager actually put in the work to train that person?
Yeah.
Well, and see, this is how I was trained at every job, no matter what it was. They get you in there. I'm going to show you once. I'm going to be by your side, and this is how you do it. And that's what I do with my trainees. Get in here, let's do this together. We do a couple things together, and you feel you got this, you feel comfortable, I'm gonna step in the next room. And if you don't feel, come get me. I will show you again.
Yeah.
You gotta have patience. Obviously, you gotta have patience.
Yeah.
And sometimes, no matter what field you're in, your patience runs really thin.
So think about this. So if you're a new person coming out of college and you've never been taught how to dress, never been taught how to professionally behave, how to professionally talk, how to act, you're thinking you're coming out of college, you've learned books, you like say accounting. You learn all of the accounting principles, but they don't teach you like the acronyms that they actually use in the industry. You walk into work and you're ready to go, and here everybody else they're judging you on your work ethic on something you were never taught.
Well, I think there's different cases for different scenarios. Like something like that, obviously, yes, they're going to need more extensive training. But if you have somebody who's, all right, we've all worked in the medical field, right? If you take your knowledge somewhere else, you should know what you're doing. They may do things differently, but you should be able to pick up quickly on it, you know?
I agree. You got to learn how to adjust on things.
Yes.
Just
absolutely.
because it was done like this over at one job doesn't mean it's going to be done like this at the next job. Like you guys just got to learn how to adjust.
I tell you, one of my biggest pet peeves, though, we've always done it this way.
I don't care.
Yes. Yes.
Now, T and I had a discussion again, like I talked last week about the different generations.
Yeah.
And I cut out some of my bold statements because I didn't want to offend any, but obviously from the feedback, I should have just left it in there. But I have a problem with baby boomers. I have a problem working with baby boomers just because of their mentality and
And again, different times. You got to remember that different times.
You know, me being young, I will say I like the baby boomers. I like some majority of the baby boomers. This is gonna raise some hectic right
She
here.
doesn't spend enough time with them.
I have a problem with Gen. What are you guys, Xers?
I don't know.
I'm a millennial.
XZBC. I don't know. I don't know.
I have a problem with Gen Xers, and I will say this because I'm not talking about you guys. I'm just talking about in general.
She's
Okay, so
throwing
don't
that in
get
there.
offended.
I'm not talking about you or you.
I'm just saying, like people who are like, I would say like 45 to 60 think that they are know-it-alls. Like, I've from my experiences, this is what I've experienced. Like they don't want to help you. They talk bad about you behind your back. Like you're 60 and I'm 20 something years old. Why are you talking about me?
Well,
why are you not helping
You want to
me?
hold her down and get her now?
well,
or
I
wait
don't-
till after the podcast.
I don't want to rehash. I don't want to rehash our discussion from podcast number 2.
Okay,
but
yeah.
we did introduce the concept of the latchkey kids and
Yeah.
how the latchkey kids, we are completely different because we had to keep ourselves alive.
Well, I mean, again, it's the generational age gap. The way you were raised is different than the way we were raised.
But was the way I raised completely different from the way you guys were raised, though? No.
Yeah.
No.
I would say, though, this brings up a very good point that we all need to work together to somehow make it better for the future leaders.
Yes, like everybody has to learn how to agree to disagree, because I don't care that you're however old you are and however old you are. I don't care. Like, let's just work together, come to a compromise. If you don't like me and I don't like you, okay, but we work together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my mentality is I go to work, I'm not there to make friends, I'm there to get my job done, but I will be respectful to you. If you're respectful to me, doesn't matter if you're not respectful to me, you just gotta go, hey, you ever seen the memes, don't talk to me, don't talk
Just
to me.
smile
Like, hey,
away,
Carrie.
like,
And you sure as heck don't go into a professional meeting and act like catty is having cat fights in the middle.
no.
Well, let me ask you, have you ever had that happen working in HR?
Oh God, yes.
Really?
I've been in meetings with your executives, like your vice presidents and your presidents, where they start going at each other and everybody else is sitting there looking at them like, and those are also organizations that struggled with retention and turnover. If you've got individuals at the top that are fighting and can't get along, that's going to trickle down.
Yes,
That's a problem. Because
Yes.
even if the top dogs can't get along, how do you expect other people to get along? How do you expect other people to work for you if the top dogs can't even get along?
So let me ask you this question, Carrie, because T and I have talked about this. We talked about the glass ceiling and how, we always hear about the men at the top and the glass ceiling and how women aren't treated fairly. So here's the question to you. The examples we talked about today, how you've seen other women work with each other, is it really the glass ceiling that's causing us to not advance as much, or is it our individual behaviors as females that's preventing us from moving up?
Oh, it's our individual behaviors that's causing us not to move up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I moved up in the RV industry so quickly because of my personality. And like I said, I became one of them. Where now that I'm in the medical field, it's like I don't act like that anymore. I don't talk like that anymore. My feminine side has came out. And it's like in order for me to move up, I feel like I have to kiss ass. That's how I feel. And I'm not going to do that because they all have their little clique. And if you're not part of that clique, then
I will say though that I've seen it over and over again being in HR that yes, there are cliques out there, but if you continue to work hard and you do your job and you don't get involved in any of that cliquey mess, eventually you will prevail and eventually the light will come on and people will be like, oh, that person doesn't participate in any of this drama. That person is reliable. That's a leader. You know, just because you're seeing it going on, don't fall into the trap of following that.
Well, and you know what? This is all new to me working with all women. Like I said, I've worked with the majority of men. Now we did have women in our groups, departments, whatever. But to deal with all women, it's like you can't talk about things you would talk about. You can't with men. And I'm not talking about pervertedness, ladies and men out there. No, I'm talking about the way we would talk, the words that came out of our mouth.
So let me tell you my story, and then we'll start wrapping it up. I worked with an individual who was transitioning from a male to a female.
Oh.
I don't care. You do you, boo.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't get it.
Do you?
I don't get it because it takes a lot of work to do this, but that's okay. So this individual, as they continued to transition and taking the medication so that it would change their physical anatomy, decided that they were not going to wear a bra to work anymore. They did not. Okay, now we're not going to wear a bra to work. I don't know why this individual. I don't know if they didn't realize how big their breast has gotten. I don't know. They just.
I'm jealous on that one.
Well, anyways, someone filed a complaint against that individual, and I had to sit down and have a discussion with this individual about wearing appropriate undergarments. Now you would think that that's common knowledge that you wear your undergarments when you're at work, but there's actually another young girl that came to work who didn't want to wear a bra either.
She should know better.
Well, yes. So I had to sit down with this individual that was transitioning and having a discussion about the appropriate undergarments I had to be wearing to work. So this individual started in about they are not conforming to the man and that we should have self-expression, and if they wanted to come to work and not wear a bra, then the man should not dictate that. And I said, well, I'm going to hate to tell it to you, but a man didn't file a complaint. It was another woman who filed a complaint. And this person was like, what? I was like, okay, let's be real here. A woman doesn't wear a bra to work, a man ain't gonna complain about that.
Right.
Not at all.
If they even notice, and if they do notice, it,
well, if you gotta wear a bra, they're gonna notice. I mean,
fair, yeah.
And I would beg to say that I would think 9 out of 10 men, if a woman wasn't wearing a bra to work, they're not gonna say anything.
No.
Yeah, no,
Now,
they're just gonna look.
A woman who doesn't wear a bra, who comes to work, I don't care what size you are, if you're a woman and you come to work and you're not wearing a bra, there's another woman that's going to pick up on it like that, and they're going to be complaining.
I'm going to say something to you. I'm not going to complain about it. Girl,
what are you doing?
Bra.
Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't funny, but it kind of was funny in the situation in that the look on this individual's face when I said it wasn't a man who filed a complaint. It was another woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the world of females.
Yeah. So I have like a general question for you too, because at work, I don't know how to handle a specific situation. So when we're talking about all this, I want to ask. So if somebody is trying to basically get you in trouble and put you in situations that you don't do nothing wrong, like you go to work, do your job, how do you handle that? How do you go about that? Do you confront them by yourself, or like you were saying earlier, or you get somebody else, talk to them about it, or do you go to HR? Like, what do you do?
I think I'll speak to it from the HR
She'd be the
perspective.
proper one to ask because you don't want my opinion.
Yeah,
on
she'd
that.
probably tell you to take them outside.
Yeah.
I would say if you're comfortable having a conversation with them, you know, you can have a conversation, a respectful conversation with someone and establish your boundaries. Say, hey, you know what? This is what I noticed. You know, why do you do that? Just be respectful.
Okay.
I know a lot of people have a hard time confronting somebody because they don't like conflict.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then yes, definitely talk to your manager. I'm
Okay.
very much a proponent for chain of command. Make sure you're talking to your manager.
Okay.
You know, if your manager's not doing anything and it continues, then yes, obviously talk to your HR representative.
Okay.
And
But definitely keep a record.
Okay.
oh yes, write it on paper. And if
Okay.
you confront this person, use a different tone of voice.
Exactly.
Gotta stay calm.
What's the deal with us? What's going on? Not that, hey man, what's going on with us? Because when you talk to them like that, it's gonna fuel something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, we live in a very litigious society where everybody wants to sue everybody.
Litigious. She learned.
Litigious.
Yeah.
I just learned the word litigious.
And we're in the same age group.
So, you know, if you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself. So
Absolutely.
if it's not written down, it didn't happen.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, because I'm still, like, don't get me wrong, like, I've been in the workforce for some years now, but I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, the way I act outside is not how I can act on the inside of work and the business, especially with the in the field that I work in. I can't act.
Well,
like that.
also, if you have witnesses too, you put their names down on there too, because
true.
you know
Yeah.
you could still write it down, but if there's a witness there,
Yeah.
put their name down there too.
I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, Leslie, you know, go on. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, this is what's going on. What do I need to do? And I'm always telling them, make sure you keep a record and you write everything down. Do they do it? No. So, yes.
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, so we're coming to our end. What is one piece of advice that you could leave young people, Carrie? What if you could help just one young person? What would be one piece of advice for them?
I would tell them to be respectful, be yourself. But if you're obviously a mean person, don't do that. I would say be respectful, kind, and courteous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if I could have had somebody tell me that years ago, you know, I think I probably would have turned out differently. But you know, unfortunately, I chose a career where you didn't have to be kind, you didn't have to be courteous. But if I would have had somebody who worked in the RV industry came to me and say, "Hey, listen, just because this person doesn't mean you have to. Don't be tough. Don't be something that you're not."
Okay,
Any parting thoughts or comments?
I would say for me, because like I said, I'm still learning, is to is to not take everything so personally and watch your tone, watch your demeanor. If you're going through things at work, learn how to approach it the right way. Don't act out of emotions. Don't act how you would act outside of work. Learn how to act a different way inside of work.
And that plays a big factor too. Don't act like you would outside of work, inside of work.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people's emotions, whether you're female or male, that plays a big role in it.
Yeah, I agree.
I also think that women have a harder time of not carrying what happens outside of work into the office environment. I think men have an easier time where they can kind of differentiate the two, that when they're at work, they concentrate on work, whereas women outside of work, they bring that in, which I mean, predominantly a lot of kids nowadays are raised by the mom. You know, the mom is doing everything. So of course we're going to carry it into the workforce, but I think if I could give advice is figure out a way to divide the two. Let work be your safety space so that when you come into work, you're concentrating on work and try to leave all your personal stuff outside.
Well, I think though you said the key factor there, work needs to be your safety place.
Yeah.
You know, we've all worked in the medical field, and I can honestly tell you right now, I love what I do for a living. I love it. But my coworkers are like my therapists, and I'm their therapist. If they have a problem, you know, they come and talk to us and da 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 da. So I mean, you know what? I think women in the workforce get a bad rep because of, you know, they think like women like to run their mouths and talk about you. You know what? That may be true in some cases. It is.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what, at my job, 98% of the time, it's you're sitting there being each other's therapist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And that means a lot. That means a lot, you know?
I agree. I think the people that I work with too, shout out to you guys, because you guys are like my therapist too. Some of them actually became like really close friends, like in my personal life.
Absolutely.
Like I appreciate the people that I work with. And even the people that give me problems at work, like believe it or not, I appreciate you guys too because you're teaching me things. Like you're helping me grow.
Unfortunately, it's the haters that give us the bad rap.
Yeah, yeah.
So if we can prevent the continuation of those haters, if you will, then we've been successful.
Yeah, and not all women are backstabbers. Not all women
No,
sit there and talk
no.
about the next person's problems or whatever that person just talked about. Not all women are like that. But the women that are like that make it harder for the women
Yes.
who's not
Oh,
like
absolutely.
that to show women that, it's safe over here. It's okay over here. I'm not like that girl over there that just said this and this and this. Like, you're safe with me.
Well, so I think excellent discussions today. Thank you,
Yes.
Carrie, for coming on.
Appreciate
thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Cherise.
Yes, thank you, Cherise.
We
Thank
invite
you, Cherise from Texas.
Yes, we invite anybody to come on to talk because we really do want to start a movement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this out there. I think you guys should do a show and you guys dress how you want to. Like, don't make me come on here dressed like I want to.
Well,
it's all gonna be hanging out.
Tia and I have a schedule. Next week, Tia and I are actually going to go Black Friday shopping, and we're going to go out and we're going to poll people in the public, people we don't know. We're just going to go out and ask them questions.
Just ask them random questions about like the workforce, like how do you see it? What's your favorite thing? What do you dislike? Like, I'm excited for that, honestly, because
don't bother me because I'm gonna be shopping. What are you liking for? I'm not at work. Leave me alone.
So yes, next week is going to be all unfiltered, real comments from people out in the public. But we do invite guests if you want to come and sit in with us. If you want to Zoom in, if you want to call in. We are especially interested in getting more diversity because just because we experience something different, races experience something totally different. So this isn't just about a white people issue. This is about how can we
all cultures
educate all cultures,
like all women together. Like, how can we help this next generation of women coming into the workforce? It doesn't matter like if you're 18 to 30, like we're all still learning. Even people past 30, like they're still learning things. So if you want to come on the show, don't be afraid to like message one of us, let us know, because Zoom call or not, even if you're all the way in New England, like let's Zoom call, let's talk about it.
So if you didn't watch podcast number 2, please go out and look at it so you can look at the video clip, because I guarantee you that you're going to look at this video clip and be like, I don't want that to continue.
Yeah, exactly. Go check us out. Go look at us. Like episode 2 is definitely where we start diving in, and this episode, I think this episode is really good.
Contact information is going to be at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around real quick and watch that. Tia and I each have separate email addresses, so if you have a question for an older generation versus someone who's younger, reach out to both of us. If you have topics you want us to discuss, please let us know, and we will make sure that we follow up with that. All right, everybody.
See you guys on the next
episode.
episode.
See you next
Bye.
time.